Good morning, children. How are you all? I hope all are good. Welcome back to my class. Children, in previous video, we learned about the force and pressure also. So today, let us discuss some more explanation of some everyday observations on the basis of pressure. So we have just studied about the pressure is the force per unit area. So the definition of pressure can be used to explain many observations of our daily life. An important point to be kept in your mind, children, it is regarded is the same force produces less pressure if it acts on a large area, but it can produce high pressure if it acts on a small area. Clear, children? Now I am explaining some examples. A school bag. A school bag has a wide strap made of thick cloth. So, the weight of a bag may fall over a large area of the shoulder of the child, producing less pressure on the shoulder. And due to less pressure, it is more comfortable to carry the heavy school bag. Clear? So, like that, so many examples are there, children, in our daily life. And second, another one is a wooden sleepers are kept below the railway line so that there are less pressure of the train on the ground and railway line may not sink into the ground. And one more is that the snow shops have large flat soles so that there is less pressure on the soft snow and stop the wearer from sinking into it. So another one is a wide steel belt is provided over the wheels of army tanks so that they exert less pressure on the ground and do not sink into it. So like that, so many examples are children in our daily life to explanation of some to better to know the understand about the pressure. Clear? Pressure exerted by liquids. All the liquids have weight. So when we pour a liquid into a vessel, then the weight of a liquid pushes down on the base of the vessel, producing a pressure. So we say that the liquid exerts pressure on the base of vessel. The liquid exerts pressure on the base of a vessel. So see this figure, children. This is the vessel, it containing a liquid in it. Vessel, this one, liquid here. So the base of the vessel here, this one. So the weight of this liquid pushes on the base of the vessel and exerts a pressure on the base of the vessel, means it's the bottom of the vessel. Bottom of the vessel. So the presence of the pressure exerted by a liquid is given by the formula. We already know the pressure formula, children. Pressure is equal to force by area. So in this case, the force is the weight of the liquid and the area of the base of the vessel in which the liquid is placed. Clear, children, about this one? How to measure pressure exerted by liquids. Next, dependence of pressure on the depth in a liquid. Depth. So the pressure in a liquid is not the same at all depths. It is not in same. So the pressure started by a liquid changes with depth in the liquid. Actually, the pressure exerted by a liquid increases with increasing depth inside the liquid. So the pressure exerted by a liquid is small just under the surface of the liquid. But we go deeper into a liquid, the pressure of liquid increases. Actually, as the depth of a liquid increases, the weight of liquid column pushing down from above increases, and hence the pressure also increases. Here see one activity is there. the pressure of a liquid increases with depth. This is the activity. So in general we say that the pressure of liquid increases with depth. In other words, the greater the depth of a point in a liquid, the greater is the pressure. So if we look carefully, this figure, we will find that the tubes A, B and C are fitted in the walls on the vessel, and water comes out of these tubes under pressure. So another conclusion which can be drawn from the above activity is that liquids also exert pressure on the walls of the vessel in which they are stored. So the sideways pressure exerted by liquid also increases with the depth of the liquid. The sideways pressure of a liquid on the walls of a vessel is almost zero as its surface. As the depth of a liquid increases, the sideways pressure on the walls of the vessel gradually increases and it becomes maximum nearer the bottom of the vessel. The wall of the dam is made thicker at the bottom so as to tolerate very high sideways pressure exerted by deep water stored in the reservoir of dam. Next, Pascal's law. The French scientist Blaise Pascal observed that the presence in the fluid at rest is the same at all points if they are at the same height. So, according to Pascal, any force applied to a confined fluid is transmitted uniformly in all directions throughout the fluid regardless of the shape of the containers. See this figure. So the principle of Pascal's law is used in various mechanical devices, and one such important device is hydraulic lift. So hydraulic lift is a simple construction in which two connected drums of different areas are used to lift objects. So heavy objects like automobiles are placed in the piston of drum with larger area, and force is applied at piston of another drum with a smaller base area. So with a smaller force applied, we can create larger pressure at platform on bigger drum, and objects move up and vice versa. Next one. So many times we see fountain of water rushing out the leaking joints. In the pipes of main water supply line in out of city. It is due to the very high pressure exerted by water in the sides of the pipes that such a fountain of water is formed. So the formation of fountains of water from the leaking pipes of water supply pipelines tells us that water exerts pressure on the walls of the container. So far we have studied that a liquid exerts downward pressure on the base of its container and sideways pressure on the walls of the container. Though it may be seen evoked, but a liquid exerts pressure in the upward direction also. So in general we can say that a liquid exerts pressures in all direction, even upwards. The pressure at any point in a liquid acts equally in all directions. Clear, children? Next, pressure exerted by gases. Tell me some examples of gases, children, like hydrogen, helium, oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide. These all are gases only. All the gases exert pressure on the walls of their containers. Though pressure is exerted by all the gases, but since air is the most common gas, so the pressure exerted by air we have to discuss in this class. So air exerts pressure in all directions. Air is a mixture of gases. We know that air is a mixture of many gases. All the gases are made up very tiny particles called molecules, which move around quickly in all directions. Not only in single directions, it can move in all directions. The fast moving gas molecules collide with one another and with the walls of the container. When the fast moving gas molecules collide with the walls of their container, they exert a force on the walls of the container. So this force produces gas pressure. This force produces gas pressure. We can know air pressure arises due to the constant collisions of the tiny molecules of the gases present in air with the walls of the container in which it is enclosed. Clear, children? Next. Now, if a certain mass of air is compressed into the smaller volume, then the number of collisions of air molecules per unit area increases, and hence the pressure exerted by air goes up. So, if the container of air has stretchable walls, then the higher pressure exerted by the air inflates the container, increases the size of the container and makes it look bigger. Okay, children? Now, when the air is pumped into a bicycle tube, children. So, by using a pump, the bicycle tube gets inflated due to the air pressure exerted by the collisions of gas molecules in the air with the inner walls of the rubber tube. This air pressure in the bicycle tube makes the bicycle tire feel hard. And another two examples that gases exert pressure are, first one is when air is filled into a balloon with our mouth, the balloon gets inflated. When air is filled into a bicycle tube with a pump, the tube gets inflated and makes the tire feel hard. Clear, children? So, the air pressure which we have just described is due to the motion of molecules of gases present in the air which is enclosed in a container. Now, we will describe another type of air pressure called atmospheric pressure. What is that? Atmospheric pressure. So, which is due to the weight of air present in the atmosphere above the surface of earth. Next, atmospheric pressure. So, where do we live, ma? We live on the earth, and there is a lot of air above us. The layer of air above the earth is called atmosphere. What is that? Atmosphere. The air in our atmosphere extends up to about 300 kilometers above the surface of earth. So, the atmosphere contains a tremendous amount of air. Air has weight. So, the atmosphere consisting of tremendous amount of the air has enormous weight. The weight of atmosphere exerts a pressure on the surface of the earth and on all the objects on the earth, including ourselves also. So, this pressure is known as atmospheric pressure. So, we say that atmospheric pressure is the air pressure which is exerted by the weight of air present in the atmosphere. Clear, children? Next, the magnitude of atmospheric pressure. Magnitude of atmospheric pressure. So, here see this figure, children. We know that the pressure is force per unit area. Now, we imagine the unit area of Earth's surface and a very tall column like this, filled with air standing on it. Then the weight of air in this column will be atmospheric pressure at that place. So, the SI unit of area is square meter. We can also say that atmospheric pressure is equal to the weight of air present in a very tall column of air standing on 1 square meter area of the earth. So, on the surface of the earth, the atmospheric pressure is maximum at the sea level. Where? At the sea level. So, this is because the column of air above the tallest at the sea level. The atmospheric pressure on the surface of the earth is 101.3 kilopascals, which is equivalent to the weight of the 10 elephants pressing on each square meter area. So this is the magnitude of atmospheric pressure is very large. So as we know, the atmosphere from the surface of the earth, the atmospheric pressure goes on decreasing. This is why means this is because of we go up into the atmosphere, the weight of air above us goes on decreasing. The atmospheric pressure on the surface of earth is how much, children? 101.3 kilopascal. Keep it that mind, children. Next, so the atmospheric pressure goes on decreasing. Why means it is because when we go up in the atmospheric, the weight of air above us goes on decreasing. So the atmospheric pressure on the top of high mountains will be much less than at its base. Okay, children. Next, the SI unit of pressure is Pascal. But atmospheric pressure is measured in the unit of millimeters of mercury, mm of mercury. So, the common units for expressing the measuring atmospheric pressure is millimeters of mercury. The atmospheric pressure on the surface of earth is 760. How much, children? 760 millimeters of mercury. Keep it that mind. Next, some applications of atmospheric pressure in everyday life. So first we use many simple devices in our everyday life which works on the existence of atmospheric pressure. Suppose example, the device such as a drinking straw. What is that? Drinking straw. So the drinking straw is very thin pipe. You already know about the straw. So it is very thin pipe which is used to drink soft drinks. The drinking straw works on the existence of atmospheric pressure. See this figure. So this can be explained here. I'm going to explaining here. See this one. So the lower end of drinking straw is dipped into the soft drink. Here they are dipping into the here. Next, when we suck at the upper end of the straw with our mouth, the pressure of air inside the straw and in our mouth is reduced. But the pressure acting on the surface of the soft drink is equal to the atmospheric pressure. So, the greater atmospheric pressure acting on the surface of the soft drink pushes the soft drink up the straw into our mouth. Clear? Next, second one is syringe. See this one, children. A glass tube with a nozzle and piston for sucking, and it in an liquid is in a thin stream is called a syringe. A glass tube with a nozzle and piston for sucking liquid in a stream is called a syringe. See this one. So the syringe works on the existence of atmospheric pressure when the needle of a syringe is dipped in a liquid and its piston is withdrawn. The pressure inside the syringe is lowered. The greater atmospheric pressure acting on the surface of the liquid pushes the liquid up into the syringe. So this one is syringe. Here pull it up. This one is atmospheric pressure and this one piston. So here air pressure is reduced here and this one is syringe, this one is nozzle, and this is all in liquid. Next, the third one is dropper. What is that? Dropper. So a dropper is also used for measuring out drops of a liquid. This one is dropper. So a dropper works on the existence of atmospheric pressure. When we press the rubber bulb, this one rubber bulb. So when we press the rubber bulb of the dropper by keeping it nozzle dipped into a liquid, air present in the glass tube and bulb is seen to escape the form of bubbles. So the air pressure inside the glass tube and rubber bulb of dropper is very much reduced. When we now release the rubber bulb of dropper, the much greater atmospheric pressure acting on the surface of liquid pushes the liquid up into the dropper tube. Thus, the rise of a liquid in a dropper is due to the atmospheric pressure. If we remove the filled dropper from the container of the liquid and press it rubber bulb slowly, then the drops of a liquid will come out of the nozzle of dropper tube. So just like a dropper, the filling of ink in a fountain pen is also based on the existence of atmospheric pressure. So very little air remain inside. So the flattered rubber sucker, therefore the air pressure inside the rubber sucker becomes very low. The much greater atmospheric pressure acting on the rubber sucks from outside fixes the rubber suck firmly on the flat surface. A rubber sucker state attached firmly in a flat surface due to the atmospheric pressure. So to pull away the fixed rubber sucker from a surface, we will have to apply a force which is large enough to overcome the atmospheric pressure holding it. So rubber sucker are usually used to hold objects together with the help of suction. For example, rubber sucker are used to hold glass tabletops onto the wooden frames of tables. So rubber sucker also used to making sections books which are fixed on walls, doors and animals and almirahs also, etc. So to hold various things. What is the use of rubber suckers means? So rubber suckers are also used for making suction of books and to fix on walls, doors and almirahs to hold various things. Clear children up to here? I hope all are followed the class. Please read the textbook carefully. If you have any doubt, please ask me in interaction period. Before that, everyone please read the lesson number 3 textbook part. Okay children, we will meet into the another class. Thank you.